Hi, I'm Espen Hjalmby, 34 years old, live on the gorgeous Gold Coast.
Yoga teacher, chiropractor, speaker, and Australian Ninja Warrior. But it hasn't always been like that. In this short video, I want to share with you the journey of how I went from 2 broken legs and almost dying in a hospital back in 2006, all the way to becoming an Australian Ninja Warrior. When I was a young man growing up in Arendal in Norway, if you have children or perhaps you've seen the movie Frozen, you probably would have heard of Arendal. The movie Frozen is actually based on my hometown in Norway, a tiny little town of 20,000 people. And I remember one morning, it was a Tuesday morning, my little sister and I were woken up to a horrendous scream. I knew it was my mother, and we jumped up out of bed and we ran down the hallway, and then we found our little brother Kevin passed away in his bed. And the family started falling apart. I started drinking and fighting and acting out, not really knowing how to deal with my emotions. And 2 years after my brother passed away, my little sister Katinka was born, disabled and handicapped from the waist and down. So she's always been in a wheelchair. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it created a massive void inside my heart to find out where sickness and disease came from. And so I wanted to contribute to people's lives. Then I wanted to become a chiropractor, because what better way to help people with disabilities than to help them truly, not just with their spine and nervous system, but with all the other aspects of lifestyle that we know work so well. Not just to survive, but to truly thrive. So I came to Australia, left Arendal in Norway to come to Melbourne, Australia, to become a chiropractor. And so in 2006, I had a motorcycle accident where I broke both my legs and part of my back, and I got a life-threatening hospital infection. It was called a Staph aureus infection, which, for those of you who don't know, it's a multi-resistant bacterial infection that was eating away at my flesh. And I remember one day, it was a Monday morning, when the doctor in the hospital walked in and saw me in the hospital. I was laid up 15 kilos lighter, with intravenous straight up my veins, and he looked me in the eyes and he said, "Espen, the infection is spreading and you now have a 50-50 chance of losing your leg from the hip and down. And if the infection continues to spread, it might start attacking your internal organs, and in the worst case scenario, you might die." And in that moment, I realized that this was happening for a reason. And as I always say, the first thing that came over me was the knowing that if it is to be, it's up to me. And I simply just decided to take health into my own hands. So I ripped the intravenous antibiotics out of my arm, left the hospital to embark on my own healing journey. And I'm very proud to say that I've actually never looked back. I started doing all the things that I now teach. You know, the nutrition, the mindset, the detox, the prayer, the meditation, the yoga that I've been practicing and teaching for the last 15 years. I started applying all these fundamental pillars into my life, and 3 weeks later, after falling in and out of consciousness with this really bad infection, I managed to beat the infection. And that's why I'm now here with 2 strong legs. So I have a massive why and a massive inspiration inside me to not only prove to the world that I can do it, but to prove to the world that they can do it. Having worked with disability in Queensland now with the Endeavour Foundation for so long, and seeing the incredible things that they can achieve just by doing some small but very powerful changes, I'm so inspired to show the world that if I can do it, then they can do it.
And that is why I know that I'm going to be the very first Australian Ninja Warrior. Season 1 was amazing. I came off on the last ring on the swing cycle, the 5th obstacle, simply because my body couldn't keep up with my mind and my grip strength wasn't good enough. So now, ever since that time, I've trained every single day. I'm faster, I'm fitter, I'm stronger, and I'm more determined. But even more importantly, my why is bigger than ever before. I remember when Rebecca Madden said, "Espen's here and today he's running for his sister." And I knew in my heart that that's exactly why I was there. But now, ever since season 1, training for season 2, my why has been so much bigger. Because now I'm not just doing it for my sister or for other people with disabilities, but I'm doing it for every single Australian out there. Because if I can prove to them that if I can overcome the obstacles and get onto the show to be the very first Australian Ninja Warrior, then they can do anything if they truly put their mind to it. That is why I'm back for season 2 as the Viking Warrior.